Outdoor Ed at Oberon High School is a really popular subject and an area because of a number of reasons. Firstly, it allows students to experience new environments, so to go to new places and do new things. It also allows students to develop some new skills, things like organisation, decision making, working as a member of a group, as well as some of those the practical things like how to pack a bag for bushwalking, for example. They might learn some basic skiing skills for cross-country or downhill skiing. And recently we had some kids doing some whitewater rafting on the King River, and so they learnt about paddling and about being safe on the river as well. So this idea of a student's comfort zone is a really interesting one. If you imagine a student who rarely ventures outside, their comfort zone is probably going to be quite small when they're in outdoor environments. We're in a really interesting situation here because we have a lot of students who naturally through their childhood are out in the outdoors, are doing lots of these activities, and so when they come to Oberon, their comfort zone, I think, is probably a little bit more stretched than maybe students from, say, the middle of Melbourne. So that allows us, I guess, to push them a little bit further, but also to take them places that are a little bit more challenging, knowing that we can just push them that little bit more. And that they can actually feel comfortable in that environment. They might feel a little bit stressed, but then they quickly adapt and develop from there.
What's the best thing about outdoor ed?
I think the best thing about outdoor ed is some of the fun that we can have. It allows students to develop really great relationships with each other. I really like it as a staff member, getting to see students outside of the classroom as well. And you get to see students at a whole range of stages and in different scenarios too. The hardest thing about outdoor ed is finding time to do all of the activities that we'd really like to, especially at the VCE level. Year 12, it does get pretty crammed because we've got the exam at the end of the year and there's a certain amount of content that's required, and so we try and run a series of intense camping-based activities rather than little one-offs. When students are on the outdoor activities, there's a series of things that they need to do. They need to prepare and organise themselves really well to prevent other things like potentially from happening. So, for example, if they don't pack a rain jacket and it rains, they are going to get wet. So these sorts of real consequences are really important. They need to be a part of their planning and they provide a reason for doing things. So for learning new skills, if they don't know how to put their tent up properly and it rains, again, they might get wet. And that doesn't just affect them, but it affects the whole group. And so there's a little bit of that self-responsibility that comes out, but there should be a lot of group responsibility and learning through that occurs as well. By developing some of these skills, the self-responsibility and organisational skills, that leads to a level of growth in the student, and hopefully one that we can see reflected back here at school and maybe in other aspects of their life as well. One where they're happy to do the little things to achieve greater outcomes. So there's a number of things that need to happen for an outdoor experience to be successful. One of the key aspects is communication. Students need to be able to get their ideas across to make decisions as a group, but also there's certain activities like the whitewater rafting that we just did where they need to be able to communicate now because there's a rapid that is quickly approaching. They need to be able to, if they're the person that's sitting in the back, they need to be able to communicate to their crew members and tell them when to paddle, when not to paddle, and which direction to go in, so that they can go on the best path down the rapids and hopefully not get stuck and fall out. There's got to be a level of perseverance as well in the student. Things don't always go right. It can rain, it could be really cold, they might fall out of a boat. But it's the ability for the student to pick themselves up and to keep going that we really like to see in our students. And it's certainly a skill that they have the opportunity to develop time and time again. The staff at Oberon that run outdoor ed experiences for students have a lot of experience in running safe and enjoyable activities. We have really close to us some world-class environments that we access as often as we can, and we really love getting out there. So if you're interested in coming to Oberon to do outdoor ed, then feel free to have a look at our website, have a look in our magazine, or just give us a call.